All right, let's get into it. Today we are taking a really close look at one of the biggest names in the AI game right now, Claude, the AI assistant from Anthropic.
You know, with hundreds of AI tools out there, it feels like a new one pops up every day. So the big question is, what makes Claude so special? What's its secret sauce?
So, at its heart, Claude is an AI assistant built by a research company called Anthropic. And when they launched it, they had this super clear mission: make it helpful, make it honest, and, this is the big one, make it harmless. And that whole idea of safety, yeah, that's a theme we're going to be hitting on a lot today.
Okay, first things first. If you've never used Claude before, you're going to love this. Getting started is actually super simple. Let's just walk through the steps right now. Seriously, it couldn't be easier. You just pop over to Claude AI, sign up using your email, and click through a quick verification, and bam, you're in. The chat window is right there, ready for you to type in your very first prompt.
Now, here's a quick tip, and honestly, this goes for pretty much any AI you use, but it's especially true for Claude. Be specific. The clearer and more detailed your prompts are, the better your results are going to be. Don't think of it like typing a few words into a search engine. Think of it more like you're giving detailed instructions to a really smart assistant who's ready to help.
Okay, now we're getting to one of Claude's real superpowers. This is the feature that makes it an absolute beast for, professionals, students, researchers, really anyone who deals with a lot of information. We're talking about its ability to handle massive amounts of text.
So, this all boils down to something called the context window. The easiest way to think about it is like the AI's short-term memory. And Claude's is huge. We're talking 200,000 tokens, which are just tiny pieces of words. But what does that actually mean? Well, to put it in perspective, it's like you could hand Claude a 500-page book and it would remember the whole thing, word for word, for your entire chat.
And the real-world uses for this? Oh man, they're huge. You can throw a dense, boring report at it and get a perfect summary in seconds. Or find that one needle in a haystack piece of information inside a giant PDF. You can even analyze hundreds of pages of code or pull out the most critical points from a long, complicated contract. It's a total game changer.
And you know what the best part is? Using this feature is so easy. You just look for that little paperclip icon right there in the chat. Click it, upload whatever you've got, a PDF, a text file, a Word doc, and that's it. You can start asking questions about that document right away. It really is that simple.
Okay, before we get into the really fascinating stuff, the philosophy behind how Claude keeps itself safe, just a quick pause. If you're getting something useful out of this, it would be awesome if you could take a second to hit that like button, maybe share it with someone who'd find it interesting, and of course, follow us so you don't miss out on what's next.
All right, now we're going to talk about what really, truly sets Claude apart from the pack. It's all about its ethical framework. And this isn't some feature they tacked on at the end. No, this is baked into its DNA, and it's all thanks to this incredible concept they call constitutional AI.
So what in the world is constitutional AI? Well, it's Anthropic's totally unique way of building a safe AI from the very beginning. See, instead of having humans constantly tell the AI that was a good answer or that was a bad answer, they give the AI a rulebook, a set of core principles, literally a constitution that it has to follow. And this is where it gets really different from how most other models are trained. You see, most models use this thing called RLHF, reinforcement learning from human feedback, where people are constantly grading the AI's responses. But Claude, it learns to supervise itself. It literally uses its own constitution to check its work, critique its answers, and make corrections. It's basically its own ethics coach.
So how do they do this? It's basically a two-step process. First, in what's called the supervised phase, the model just practices. It generates answers and then immediately checks them against its constitution, correcting itself as it goes. Then, in the second phase, the reinforcement stage, it uses all that self-critique to get better and better, constantly reinforcing the good, constitution-friendly habits.
And we're not talking about a few simple do's and don'ts here. This Constitution is a serious document. We're talking about 75 different articles, pulling from some really heavy-hitting sources, like the UN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So this gives it a really solid, globally aware ethical foundation.
Okay, so we've talked about how to get started, and we've talked about the deep ethical principles it runs on. But what does this actually mean for you, today, trying to figure out which Claude model to use? Let's break down the options.
The Claude 3 family basically has a tool for every job. You've got Haiku, think of it as the sprinter. It's super fast, really cost-effective, and perfect for quick, simple tasks. Then there's Sonnet. This is your all-rounder, hitting that sweet spot with a perfect balance of speed and performance. And then There's Opus. Opus is the heavyweight champion. It's the one you bring out for the most complex, brain-melting analysis and research.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, Claude really isn't just another chatbot. It's designed to be more like a partner, one that's incredibly powerful, totally focused on making you more productive, and most importantly, built on this really strong ethical foundation. And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. Anthropic is fundamentally trying to build a moral compass right into the AI itself. So I want to leave you with a question to think about. What does it mean for the future, for how we work and live with these machines if we can give them an ethical constitution from the start? It's definitely something to chew on. Thanks for tuning in.